o'clock. Good evening. And we have a full agenda tonight with 5 applicants. And we only have a 4-member board tonight. We'll have to vote. All 4 will have to be in the affirmative to get passed. And we'll go through the first applicant, is Hilda Lane. Anybody here for Hilda Lane? Would you
Yes, Don Bracken from Bracken Engineering. You've seen me here before for this project.
Yep.
I think we would like to go forward, not ask for a vote tonight. We have some additional information I'd like to submit to you tonight anyway. I'd like to take the opportunity to sort of recap. It's been a while since we've been here, so.
We got 2 more members just walked in.
Oh, great.
we
We're also here with Attorney David Henning.
got-
I think the last request for to continue the meeting was so that we could have legal representation.
You got the floor.
Okay, thank you. Just to sort of recap, we're here for a variance under the bylaw to have 1 common driveway to serve 2 proposed lots in the Hilda Lane subdivision. This plan up here was prepared by Webby Engineering. They're the engineers that are going through the process with the planning board right now to amend this existing subdivision, reducing it, I think, from 5 buildable lots to 4 buildable lots. Because it was a previously approved subdivision, that's why it's an amendment and not a new subdivision. One of the things that kept coming up at the previous meetings was the design of the actual roadway layout and where the actual roadway was proposed. There's a little confusion because the way the roadway is laid out is a larger bubble than what the roadway actually fits inside of. And as I explained at the last meeting, the reason for that was in order to get the required frontage for both the lots on the end. Also, since our last meeting, you're probably not aware of it, but Webby Engineering is revising the plan to make the cul-de-sac larger after meeting with the fire department. So back around last summer, Webby Engineering filed a plan with the Conservation Commission to create 2 driveways side by side off of the proposed roadway to access both lots. And the reason they did that was because of the bylaw I mentioned, that you have to have your driveway individually across your own lot's frontage. They started the conservation review process. They hit a lot of roadblocks. Town hired a consultant. And the outcome of that was they withdrew the project without prejudice, but the Conservation Commission and the consultant asked for the applicant to look at other alternatives that wouldn't have as much impact to the wetland, filling the wetland and filling in an area within the flood zone. So hence, this is why we came up with this option, which, as you can see, this greenish color, it's, I think, just under 5,000 square feet of wetland filling. And then this teal color is obviously much less. I can't see it from here, but basically the idea is to shift the road, use a common driveway to access both lots in order to avoid filling in the flood zone and substantially reducing the amount of wetland area to be filled. And as you may recall, the board at the first meeting, or the second, asked us to go to the fire department, review that with the fire department. We sent them a turning analysis for their fire truck to demonstrate that it could get in and out. The fire department came back with a recommendation or request that we increase the driveway, which on the current plans is proposed a 16-foot wide gravel to 20-foot wide gravel, and also to add a hydrant about halfway up to the driveway. I think at the last meeting, Scott Burgess, the applicant, we verbally agreed that we would do that. So, obviously we're here for more input. The attorney has some documents that you requested at the last meeting, which included a draft of the easement language and also maintenance language for the 2 owners. I assume that would be recorded. But if it's okay, I'll turn it over to Attorney Hennig.
Good evening, members of the board. My name is Attorney David Hennig. I'm from the law firm Galvin & Galvin PC, 10 Enterprise Street, in Duxbury, Massachusetts. The important part of why we're here is to get a variance for relief under section 167-10 subdivision L of the bylaws, because as was stated, no common driveways are allowed unless otherwise provided for this chapter. So if we look at the reasons for when this board can grant a variance, if we start looking at what the unique conditions are for this project and this plot of land, the size of the lot is really one important factor, that the lots are substantially larger than most other lots in the town. They have a 6 acre and 11 acres on these two proposed lots. And because of the size of these lots, there's multiple wetland resource areas in the proposed area. Now, there was a previously approved subdivision plan in this area, but this new revised plan, again, it's to minimize the impacts on the wetland resource area, which the Conservation Commission suggested that this project go head this way to have minimum impact on that area. The hardship that would be faced under this project if a variance wasn't granted, the proposed alternate here makes most sense because it has, again, the least impact on the wetland resource area and environmental impact. The compliance plan, if this variance was not granted, there would be a substantial amount of filling in the wetland resource area. There would be a large culvert. There would have to be permitting through FEMA for filling in the flood zone, and completing state and local wetland permitting process just for the other plan would be a significant financial hardship on this project. We think that just the way that this new project is, we have a less of an impact on the area. It makes the most sense. It's for the benefit of the towns, for the benefit of any potential future owners. It would be less detrimental to the public good than the alternative version that was previously approved. Again, just this variance is going to be there so that it can, and I keep repeating, but reduce the impact on the wetland area. And now I know that there was questions in the past about kind of who would maintain this area, so I did print out a common driveway maintenance agreement. I have copies for everybody that I'll pass out, and kind of showing, this is just a draft plan. We could obviously change it. You'll see that there's only one party named on here right now. But we went over everything, considering who would share costs of maintaining this road, how it would, or this driveway, I'm sorry, how it would, who would be responsible for what percentage going forwards. We define what way maintenance is, what would be undertaken to maintain it, keep it in good operating conditions, safe access for emergency vehicles. We put in here kind of who would have a say in making any changes to it and how the parties would agree. If any disputes came up, how they would resolve the disputes among property owners. We talk about everything as far as snow plowing, who would be responsible for that to maintain this driveway. Payment plans, process, any agreement that they could come to of who would pay and how it would be paid. We set standards for parking, that people can't park on this road unless for a certain amount of time. But again, this is just a draft version. We can always change what's contained in here. We make it so that any potential future owners would be bound by this type of agreement. They would each have to sign it, and it would get recorded with the registry of deeds so that it stays on record and stays enforceable. But I'll hand it over to everybody. The last page is just a signature page that we would obviously duplicate for anybody else who became a future party to this type of agreement. So we do think that we meet all the standards for the granting of a variance in this case, again, for the reasons that were stated, but I'll entertain any questions if anybody has any.
No, the right of way, it's gonna be a private driveway, right?
Yep.
And the people on that street are gonna be responsible for it, or the landowner that's doing the construction?
Well, as of right now, the Realty Trust, Hilderling Realty Trust would be responsible for it as of now. And then if it gets sold in the future, those new parties would be responsible for maintaining it. And they would have to sign this agreement and become part of it.
That's maintaining the driveway, not the roadway, correct?
Driveway, yes, I'm sorry, I keep
Yeah.
missing the term, but they were referring to the driveway.
What happens from Haywood Street to the property? Who's gonna maintain that?
I think that's gonna stay a private road, so I would assume that there's gonna have to be an association of all four lot owners.
Who's gonna be responsible from Haywood Street to the property, to the house, to the two lots that you're building?
Be just like any private road in town, the people that are on it are gonna be responsible, shared responsibility for it.
Yeah, I had it divided up in, for a percentage, so however many homeowners potentially go on here with the plots, they'll, they come to an agreement of how they want to divide up the responsibility, 25% each, or 33, whatever it ends up being.
And what is the variance that you're asking for?
It's for relief from section 10 point. Relief from sections 167-3, the definition section, and 167-10L for the common driveway.
The driveway gonna be paved, or is it gravel?
Gravel.
Any members of the board wants to?
I mean, my biggest problem with this here is the town has no responsibility of that roadway. Zero. So if you want fire protection, that's gotta be plowed before the fire trucks and everything else can get down there.
Right.
So what happens if the plow drivers don't show up and there's a fire and the fire trucks can't get there? I mean, who's responsible for it is what I'm trying to say. They can't get back to the town.
So we do have something in there for snow plowing, and that would just have to come down to an agreement really with the plowing company, making sure that if they had any type of problems with their truck, making sure that the company has at least multiple vehicles that could potentially plow this road. You wouldn't want to contract with only, say, one company with one plow, where if there is a problem potentially, that would theoretically could become a problem. So, we would just have to look into who the right plow company would be for a scenario like this, to make sure that there's multiple people that are always on call, always on duty, who can make sure that this road is, or I'm sorry, I keep saying road, that this driveway is clear.
I mean, well, the reality, the Realty Trust, will they have plenty of insurance on that to protect the homeowners in the street if something doesn't happen? I mean, I'm just looking at cases that could come up that they're gonna be pointing to us saying, hey, why'd you prove that, with nothing in place?
Absolutely, yeah, we could absolutely put a condition like that on there, that the Realty Trust or anybody has insurance to make sure something like that happens. We could absolutely, this is just a draft agreement, so we can tweak it if there's any concerns that the board has. We could add conditions and make sure that those occur.
Am I allowed to ask a question?
No, you,
Tell me that I can.
any members of the board?
Yeah, I have a couple. So the current subdivision, like I'm looking at it, is that approved already?
No,
Okay.
it's still in the process.
So it's still where? Because I've seen a lot of different maps of this section of town, a lot. So I just don't know where it's at currently. Is it one lot? Is it is the back lot all one lot? I'm trying to figure out where it is currently. Like how it sits.
Yeah. So how it sits right now, we have the two large back lots that are the subject of the variance request.
Okay.
We have another lot on the east side of Hilda Lane. And then there's a fourth lot, this lot 17, that Mr. Burgess doesn't own. It's owned by somebody else, but they're gonna become a lot once the roadway gets built. That lot already exists. Once we create the frontage, we combine it with another parcel, then it's gonna be a lot.
So the back two big lots are deeded lots currently.
Well, no, it's all deeded as one property right now.
That's what I was asking.
Yeah,
So it is currently one deeded lot.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay. When conservation mentioned that driveway, it sounded like you said conservation had suggested that to you. Is that what you suggested?
They didn't suggest this design, they
Yeah.
suggested that we looked at alternatives because of the amount of disturbance that the initial design that
Yeah.
was submitted down here was gonna
Yeah.
create.
Did they say that would be requested or required for them for you to be able to do that?
Well, I think, I didn't do the application, Mr. Webby did, but I've had a lot of correspondence with
Yeah.
him, and I've read the minutes and everything.
Yeah.
It didn't appear that this was gonna go in a positive direction, and so
Right.
that's why they withdrew it, and
Right.
that's why they said they would look for different alternatives.
Right. So to be able to do that, it looks like you'll have to have a road, a common driveway somewhere.
To avoid this. Now,
Right.
under this scenario, we don't need any variance, because basically it's two driveways side by side
Yep.
straddling the lot line.
Yeah.
So,
But there's a conservation issue there.
there's a conservation issue, so
Right.
I think what it,
that may not be approved if that's.
it may not be approved,
Right.
it just, to me, it didn't make sense to
Yeah.
continue down that path
Yeah.
with this being a possible alternative.
So
Okay.
the potential
Um, Are there other examples in this area of common driveways that you found? I don't know if either of you guys have looked.
No, I don't think so, and I think from the beginning, it didn't appear that any members of the board,
I
Could
can't
recall
think of
either,
any, that's
so-
why I'm asking.
yeah, I don't, I'm not sure.
So potentially, this is gonna be, it'll end up being a four-lot subdivision.
Well, I think it's gonna be a four-lot subdivision no matter what, assuming that it gets approved through the planning board process. The only question in our mind right now is whether we have to do this or we can do this. Because if this isn't approved, then we're going back to this.
But that may not be approved either.
Well, eventually, I think it probably, would be.
Right.
All right, so,
Um,
and I would look at this as sort of a, not so much by right, but
Right.
a very approvable, because it's the only access to the property.
In here, it says there is a dispute. It goes to arbitration or a legal issue, right? Is there a second, so I'm looking at those two lots. If the person who owns the lot on the left, they have basically complete control of access of the other person to that back lot, correct? There's no other way that a person would be able to leave their property without going through the driveway.
Correct,
Right? So
because.
it's not really a common driveway between two lots. It's a common driveway through someone else's lot.
Yeah, so it does go through that portion of the lot, and I don't think you were here at the last meeting, but the owner for that lot was obviously here in support of it,
Owner of
the
what
easement.
lot?
The owner of this lot 17.
Right, but the goal was eventually to have different owners of all of these.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So the reason I ask that is potentially if there's a dispute, right?
Mhm.
And the person on I'm looking at the two back lots here, the person on the right is in a dispute about paying for the maintenance of the roadway. The only way they can get out of their driveway is to drive through the lot of the person they have the dispute with. Right?
I'm not sure I follow that. So,
So let's say you live in the larger of the two lots in the
one of
back.
these lots, yeah,
Nope, the one on the right.
okay.
Right? The only way you can leave and go to work is to
Okay.
drive on the common driveway
Mhm.
through the lot of the person you have the dispute with.
Right.
which he has an easement,
Right.
but that's a concern of mine. That's, I'm just
No,
asking if there's
that's an
other.
understandable concern, that's why I think if the documentation is there and either party that purchases these lots in the future understand what it
Mhm.
is, then
Yep.
legally, hopefully there won't be any disputes, but,
Yep.
in my mind, it's very, I don't want to.
And I'll be very honest, that's the least of my
Yeah.
concerns with
Yeah.
this. My least of the concerns is setting up a scenario where there's an issue back there. You had mentioned the variance originally just for 167.10, and then you mentioned the definitions of 167.3. Do you know what the definitions in 167.3 that you mentioned when you said you wanted a variance for that? I don't see anything about a common driveway in there, so I'm just wondering.
Yeah, I think in both, so I did the original variance application. And so both of them mention the fact that you can only have one driveway entrance. That's why we mentioned.
Yeah, I just didn't see it in there, so maybe it's in there and I just missed it. Is in the
Yeah,
frontage maybe?
it's probably tough to find it in the definition section. I don't have a copy of the bylaw with me, but
Yeah, I'm looking at it,
Yeah.
sorry. I don't,
it's somewhere in there.
okay. And so the biggest issue, I guess, goes to the hardship. I suspected that it was still one lot right now. It is currently deeded as one lot. The goal is to have it approved as a subdivided lot. One of the kind of most obvious examples of a hardship that is not a substantial hardship is you are subdividing the lots yourself and creating a hardship by subdividing the lots. And you've now created, you have one lot there, you want us to grant you a variance and say you have a hardship by creating two lots out of one. So my biggest issue is I don't know if that is a legal hardship that would qualify for a variance. And so I'm interested to kind of hear what thoughts you have on that, but we've seen a lot of them in here. We've seen some subdivision requests in here. Almost on its face, the subdivision argument is not a hardship. You're creating that.
I agree with you 100%, all right, but I think the difference here in this case is the fact that even though we are subdividing it, we do have an option to do this. Okay, so if we weren't coming here for the variance, we would be doing this. And I think for the
We'll be doing what?
we would be doing this alternative, would be filling in the wetland, filling in the flood zone,
Yeah.
so,
But you could keep it one lot and not need a common driveway.
yeah, but that realistically, that's not gonna happen because we're gonna propose the two lots and then we're gonna go back to doing this and not need any variance if we have to.
We don't
I
have, you're
understand
not
why-
required to ask for two lots. Why not ask for four?
Well, I think because the project wouldn't work if we didn't.
I agree. I don't know if the project works at two. That's my
It
issue.
may be minimal, I don't know, that's not my concern as far as, presenting this to you.
Yep.
But, again, that's why we're trying to really reinforce the point of what we think we have almost by right and what's approvable,
Mhm.
and then what makes the most sense.
Good. I think those are all my questions.
Anybody else?
Is Hilda Lane up to the turnaround going to be paved?
Yes.
How wide is Hilda Lane? Or how
I
wide
think
is
it's
the road?
20 feet, the pavement. Well, the right of way is 50 feet, but the actual pavement itself is not 50 feet.
How wide does the roadway have to be?
24.
I assume I don't believe he had asked for a waiver on the roadway width, so I assume
Yes, he did.
if he did, to what, 20 feet?
He's asking for a lot of waivers.
So they still have to go to the planning board, right? They still have to go through the planning board. Because
I can't
So
answer
what
the
I'm
question
getting
exactly.
at, so how wide is the driveway?
The driveway is gonna be 20 feet. Right now, the plan shows it at 16 feet. And that, the fire chief asked us to make it 20 feet.
So could it be increased to a legal sized road and have the turnaround off to the right side on the bottom? So you don't need the two separate driveways?
I don't think so, because then the road itself, to meet subdivision requirements, is gonna be paved. And I don't think it would make any sense to put a turnaround and pave it.
But it's possible.
Anything is possible, but it's probably not viable. You know,
You have a question?
It was just about, we were going back to when you were talking about the fire trucks getting up there and who would plow it and that. Is there a house currently on Hilda Lane already built?
No.
There's two,
There's two houses there, but they not where they're
No,
proposing.
so how do they currently maintain, I guess, the private road and the plowing? Because I know the concern was, okay, well, how would we plow it, and what if they didn't get there in time? What if there's an emergency? If there's two houses already on it, how do they currently, plow it and maintain it? Because I'd assume it would just stay kind of the same in that sense. If they're already doing it, I'd assume they would follow that lead and continue doing what they're already doing, right?
Are you maintaining the road?
No, sir.
The people that are living on the street maintain it?
I believe the town's probably plowing it.
It's a private road.
Town plows it?
I think so.
So I just wanted to, if that was the case, kind of factor that in and figure out like what the plan forward would be. So thank you so much for your time.
Anybody else? You have any questions? Go ahead.
I'm Diane Bradford, 131 Hayward Street, I live Hilda Lane. Concerned about what was said between Hayward Street and Hilda Lane already there. Why can't that become a town road instead of a private road? I also have a question about hardship. There's been so many people trying to build on this lot for 34 years since I've been there, 37. There was plenty of information before Mr. Burgess bought the land that he may have a hardship. So I don't see how he can say this would be a hardship. You took on this project not knowing what would pass and what would not pass. His hardship is his hardship. Any building we have on this area, our houses are flooding. My son's screen room, I can show pictures right now, is flooding because the water table over the last couple of years has gotten so high. We've had to re-cement our pool. The water table is coming up through the pool. I know Honey Nazarella's not here today, but she had to do some drainage things, but the water in back of her is coming up because there's a river. So all this is very concerning to the abutters. That would put a hardship on us as abutters if any issues with the, wetlands or, what you're gonna do with them. I also have a concern. When this was first bought by Mr. Burgess, he came to two abutters on Hilda Lane and asked for money of $130,000 each. That was a hardship for those people. Good thing they didn't pay it. It was illegal for him to do that. All this is, yes, it happened. I just have a concern, a lot of concerns. That's my feelings on it. I hope we don't pass it.
Any more
There's
from
too many
the
ifs, ands, or
members of the
buts.
board?
Amy Troop speaking as a resident, but I have some knowledge on this. This is actually a subdivision modification that in, I think, February, the beginning of February, the end of January, we voted that it needed to go to conservation for any of this to be approved before it would go forward. They are asking for many variants, many waivers on street size, on reducing sidewalks, and no underground electric, and others. So they're trying to shorten the road and make the turnaround smaller, and that hasn't been modified as of yet either.
Well, we're trying to, we're gonna kick it back to the planning board.
Well, it has
I'm
naming,
not
yeah.
comfortable with it, the
Okay,
way it is right now.
okay.
And I don't know what the members of the board want to do, but in my opinion, I'd like to kick it back to the planning board and let them straighten it out. And conservation, or through the planning, then myself, I'm not comfortable with it right now.
Okay. We voted at the planning board meeting to have it go to conservation before it came back to us, to have that approved before we would even touch anything.
Mhm.
So I understand, but if you were the same as us to send it to conservation, that might be a help, you know?
Anybody in the audience want to speak to this?
If I could just add, I believe conservation has already approved the subdivision road and the drainage and the road itself. I think a lot of other issues that were brought up are planning board issues that hopefully be vetted out at the planning board, so.
And just time-wise for what makes most sense.
I mean, not to interrupt you, but to asking for a variance is if it's self-inflicted, you're creating your own hardship, and that's kind of hard to swallow, you know, for myself. I don't know about the members of the board, but they have their own opinion, and they would, you know.
Well, I think what's important is there's going to be more hardship to the surrounding area with the plan that's currently in place, and the whole reason behind this is trying to minimize impacts to the environment. This variance promotes the purpose of the zoning bylaws far more than what the original.
The people that live around that area, I mean, the water table is high, not because they live on that. The whole area, the water table is very high. And try to sell it to them, it's kind of hard, you know? I mean, I don't live there, but they do. You know, they have to deal with it every day of their lives, you know? And I'd like, you know, in my opinion, I'd like to kick it back to the planning board or conservation, and whatever the members of the board here would like to do.
Just for understanding, for timing wise, the reason why this isn't for conservation before getting the variance, it would almost be like a hypothetical moot point to bring it before conservation and say, look, we don't know if we're gonna have this variance yet, so that's the reason why we're coming here first. Time-wise, it makes the most sense, get the variance approved, and then go bring that plan to conservation to explain to them, this is what is gonna be in place, this is what we would be doing. So that's just kind of procedurally wise, why we're here.
Maybe conservation needs to be, maybe conservation needs to look a little further into what
You gotta,
is approved. David Masio, 16 10th Ave, I don't need a microphone.
She was raising her hand over here first, so.
I'm Deb Emery. I was also going to ask if John could just speak to, with the plans you have in place, should there be better drainage than what's going on there now? Because there's a drainage easement, right? With the new road.
Well, again, anything to do with the roadway has to do with the planning board review and the drainage that's there. What I do know is that that's all been reviewed by the Conservation Commission. Has to be in compliance with the Stormwater Management Act. I don't know where the planning board stands in their engineering review of it. I believe it's already been at least an initial review of the planning board. So as far as I know, the drainage for the roadway, you know, has been reviewed and approved. But obviously, we can follow up on that and let the board know. I think what's important for us is not to go back and forth, but try
I'm
to
gonna
get,
be able
you know.
to speak.
Mr. Murphy, you want to say something?
If the draining doesn't comply to what the residents are in the area, then it needs to be re-reviewed by the conservation. No? Am I wrong?
I would assume so. If it's causing a problem, then it's allegedly.
If they already have a problem
Yeah.
now,
They're gonna have a bigger problem.
No, I think it would be less of a problem.
Yeah.
Because there's a drainage easement.
No,
Yeah.
once you take trees down, I live in wetlands. When you take trees down, you don't realize how much water a tree sucks up. It is astronomical. So if we start taking trees down, that drainage easement is totally canceled out by the amount of
I mean,
trees you take
But
down.
there was a professional review that said that it wouldn't be, so I'm just confused.
But there's people with water in their basements.
So it's
Right.
already testing. right? It's pre-existing, like before anyone's even built or taken down a tree.
No,
There's water.
it seems like since.
Hold on a second, let's not get off the subject.
Yeah, and
We haven't built anything.
We wanna,
There's no.
Yeah.
What is the review by?
Who is this?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. I don't think the drainage really doesn't. The drainage is a conservation thing. I think they're gonna have trouble with that anyway. I think that those are all things that we don't. I will say, if your goal is for us to move on the question in front of us for 16710 and 167.3, I would not support it as it's presented right now. I think there are many issues with it, and I don't think you have a valid hardship for a variance. I think you've created it. So, and that's just me. But I appreciate Amy coming over and letting us know from the planning board that they have a bunch of questions that they haven't had answered either. And so I'll be honest, this is not the first time I've seen Hilda Lane come up. It has come up several times before with different plans. I'm not closed off to what's happening back there, but I think the people who have invested a lot of money in the land around it and the homes around it have had issues with the road and issue with draining. And I for one, based on what the zoning board has their purview in, I want to create something that's going to make that neighborhood better, not create more problems for them. And I don't know if that meets the standard, and I don't know if that's going to create a better scenario for them.
we wanna make the right decision, we wanna
Yep,
make the
I'm
right
done.
decisions for the people that live around there, and whoever wants to live in this development. In order to do that, we have to make sure everything's right. And right now, it is not. To me, it isn't.
Right.
To the couple members of the board, whatever, it would be better for us to send you back to the planning board or conservation to iron it out, then you can come back to us. I mean, that's the way I feel, not everybody else.
I'm in agreement, and since we don't have any other shared driveways in town, I think we're opening ourselves up to
Yeah.
a problem by creating a shared driveway.
We're trying to bend the rules in a certain way to fit that project, but we can't do that. It's not, it'll come back on us, and we don't want that.
I understand, and
Yeah.
I appreciate the fact that.
And the people that live around there
Mhm,
are struggling because of their water problems,
mhm.
you know.
I would love just maybe 1 minute to just touch on the runoff problems, you know. I'm a professional engineer, I've been doing drainage
Why
design
not?
for almost 40 years.
We're not-
But I just want to try to explain it to you, so you know where I'm coming from. You know, I forget your name, but I think this is your house at the corner, and then we have these other two houses.
No,
It's a very,
that's not mine, right there.
right here,
No.
it's,
No, that's
right here.
That's ours.
All right, so it's a very high water table, everybody knows. Soil conditions may not be great when you get close to the water table. Right now, there's an existing gravel driveway that comes down for this house right here. So the change between here and the existing house is converting a gravel driveway to a paved road. Now, the paved road is gonna have new drainage in it. There's no drainage in the area right now. And I can attest, as I've already said, the drainage has already been reviewed by the town's planning board engineer. I've seen the report. It's already been approved by the Conservation Commission. I've seen the order of conditions. So all of this has been reviewed and approved. I appreciate what you said, that, you know, really the focus here, you know, I know we're focused on the road because everyone's concerned, everyone wants to know what's going on, but the focus really, I think, should be from this point back, and just focusing on the common driveway issue. So I apologize that you don't have all this information in front of you, but I think it's all available that we can submit to the board. But again, if the issue really comes down to the board, you know, feeling firmly that we created our own hardship, and that's gonna be the issue, then I would love to be able to discuss that and at least, you know, maybe pull the board and get the board's feeling, because we don't wanna go back and waste the planning board's time or our time. You know, we wanna have some kind of feeling on what which way the board is gonna go, and rather than waste anybody else's time. So if we could do that, you know, we'd really appreciate it.
Well, I'll be very honest. I think you need 4 votes, and I think there's been enough people to let you know that I wouldn't support it, and you would need everybody else. So,
I mean, usually-
I don't wanna waste your time either.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, well, I'm glad, that's why I brought it up, because you are the one that voiced that, exactly what your position was. So, obviously, we have a feel for what everyone else's positions are too, but I guess we've come this far, it would be good to hear individuals' positions exactly, so.
Are you asking them to vote?
I'm not asking them to vote, we're asking, I don't think there's enough information for everyone to take a vote. I think, any feedback we get now, we'll have to decide what our next step is gonna be.
Which,
I don't know. Yeah.
what's your take on it?
My take on it right at this moment is no.
What about you, Bob?
I'm not comfortable with it. It's a long driveway to share.
I agree with Peter's stance.
I would much rather see less conservation filled in, but I think there could be an issue down the road.
I mean, that whole area, I mean, you ever see Haywood Street? It floods and, it's not it's a common problem in that area, so.
And it does not need to be currently subdivided, that's not a requirement. There's no requirement that there's a certain number of lots there.
Right.
And that's really what the issue is, yeah.
Well, you got the feel of the board,
All right.
so it's up to you guys.
We'd ask for, one more continuance, and then we'll see
Okay.
where we go from there.
Where was, I don't know where this started, I
Is
don't
there
have
anything-
time out here.
Any specific information that the board would want to hear? Like, you want to see the orders and conditions from the Conservation Commission, if that's part of the concern?
I just don't think there's a hardship. I would, no matter what you're telling me, I don't see a valid hardship to support a variance, for me personally. So it's not where I have concerns about how the driveway is built, I have concerns about a lot of things about the project, but really, I just don't think you have a hardship to grant a variance for any of us. For me, I know I'm
I'm
jumping.
100% in agreement.
Hmm?
I'm 100% in agreement.
Do you want a continuance?
Yeah, at least one continuance,
Yeah.
just one more.
When's the
What
next
was the
meeting?
original petition? I just don't want to time out.
I think we had,
If you want to,
we extended the time frame last time, I don't know exactly how far we extended it to.
yeah, that's what I worry about. Yeah.
It's at least 3 months since we've had them the first time.
Mhm.
I believe so.
Do you extend it for 30 days or 90?
I think
If you want to write up
I'm pretty sure it was at least 60, I'm gonna see if I have.
if you want to write up a request, I just don't. Like if they write a request, we can grant their request, right?
I don't know if you can just move it to the next available meeting with a condition that we submit a request to extend the time frame beyond 30 days beyond it.
Yeah, we could.
Do you feel that you could have all the answers within 30 days?
Well, I think I definitely can get you all the information that we talked about tonight, so we put some of these other issues to bed. So, within a couple of weeks, so if you have a meeting, if we can get another meeting in 30 days.
You extend it 60, that covers.
Yeah, then we would extend it. That's why I was saying, if whatever the meeting is, we'll submit an extension for 30 days beyond whenever that meeting is.
We can do it for next month?
Trying to see what the date is for next month.
The 5th of May.
Oh, is that early? No. The 12th.
It's the 5th town meeting.
Oh, okay. Okay. So we make a motion to continue to the May 5th meeting?
What? Do you guys mind just writing something up for us to accept? Like just to, sign off by the
Do
lawyer?
you have any requests for the highway superintendent to be here for that? I know it's a private way, right? It's a private way, correct?
It's a driveway. It's on a road.
Well, there's the private road and then there's the common driveway. That's what we're focused on, yeah.
So the last, and Amy might be able to help with this, the highway superintendent has opened up private roads so that the fire and ambulance could get into these areas as like a bonus. Did we have Steve here? Should we have Steve here for
We
the next
can, we
meeting?
can request them to be here.
To at least put his opinion in on what that is for opening that up? Because not to add or to ask for more taxpayer dollars, but they're opening up these roads as a, almost just a bonus so that the fire department can't get,
Are you talking about the ones on town meeting?
yeah.
Oh, those are different. Those are,
Oh, yeah,
those
yeah.
are bonded or covenanted roads.
But they were the bonded roads, but they were opening up the unbonded roads as well.
No, these are all being researched, and this week we should have everything by Thursday. I think they're gonna be all fine.
So these roads aren't protected by the town at all for plowing or sanding?
I'll be honest, it's probably better for the planning board than us. They wouldn't even come to us about that stuff.
Yeah,
Like, they would handle all that stuff.
yeah.
Well, let's handle one thing at a time. We're
Sure.
gonna have, they're gonna ask for a continuance, and we'll deal with it next
Okay.
month.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, no,
no.
More
No,
confused
that's
too.
There's layers of this.
Lots of
Yeah.
moving parts.
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
Lots of moving parts.
Did you say May 5th?
You made a motion, right?
Make it, yeah, I made a motion to
Let's,
continue.
let's let them request it, and then we can accept their request.
Wanna make a motion to
I don't play
continue?
any games in it.
That's what she said.
Okay. Who seconded it?
I did.
Are we
All in
accepting?
favor?
What are we voting on?
To continue?
Accepting, accepting their request?
Yes.
Yeah, to continue.
For a
the
good
meeting.
request, I'll vote yes on that.
It said June 15th, 2025, is that enough?
That's fine.
Well,
Yeah, all in favor? Yes, yes.
And then we need to, so we move to accept their request, we need to then move to continue it to a certain date, right? The next meeting,
The next meeting,
right? When's that?
May 5th?
Is
I
it?
don't think it's spelled statutory, right?
Probably not, but I can't.
Chairman gets it. Goes to our secretary.
Mhm.
Goes to our secretary.
Got a motion to continue, I'll make a motion to continue, ZBA 24-3 to, well, we'll do the next meeting, right? May 5th, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, to May 5th at 7 o'clock, May 5th, 2025 at 7 o'clock.
I'll second that motion.
Yeah, I think they just want it in case they need to move it to the second meeting after that. I think, right?
Second,
Yep.
All in favor?
yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right. Still people.
There's a lot.
Like, it's like I literally Googled again just to be sure, and then kept popping up. It's like out of the textbook. Like,
Excuse me.
you probably saw it as much as anybody else.
You're in Halifax now?
Next application is the ZBA 25-2. Tina, would you like to read it?
Halifax Zoning Board of Appeals will hold a public hearing on Monday, April 14th, 2025 at 7 p.m. in the Board of Selectmen's meeting room at Halifax Town Hall, 499 Plymouth Street, Halifax, on the application submitted by Ronald, I'm not gonna say this right. To construct a 24 by 26 two-car garage, said to be located at 39 Avenue in Halifax, as shown on the census map.
You got a name?
52, lot 396, 48690, page 338. Property is zoned agricultural residential. The Board of Appeals will consider various and/or special permits from the following section of the zoning bylaws. 16-11, dimensional and density regulations of the town, requiring a special permit to allow an exception of front yard setback requirements. 16711, table of density regulations of the town, requiring variance allowing an exception to the side yard setback. And 167-11, table of density, dimensional and density regulations of the town of Halifax, requiring a special permit to allow an exception For the rear yard setback.
Mr. Puzo,
Yes.
would you like to tell us what you want to do?
I want to put a two-car attached garage onto the house.
You got plans and all that stuff?
So that is the plot plan, and this is the house.
Right? That's what. It's not.
Nice house upside down.
I can turn.
Even better.
Listen here.
Bless you.
Thank you.
What are the side lot lines?
Yeah, I wanted. Oh, upside down too.
10 feet 8 inches.
Sorry. All overzealous.
It's just gonna be a garage, and they're gonna have living space upstairs or anything, they're just a two-car garage?
Yeah, dead storage upstairs.
What's that? Just storage?
Just storage. No kids.
You're gonna have heat in it and all that?
That's what you think.
Oh, something's coming down.
How far is he from the side lot line?
Right? Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Is it?
10.8.
So he's asking for a variance.
What's that side one? It's supposed to be 15,
30.
30, so 10.8.
Well, those are on,
So the house is a lot closer than what the proposed garage would be, correct? Yeah. The house is pretty close to the road, right?
Yes.
So the house is closer than the proposed garage.
Yeah.
what's the square footage of your lot?
11,280.
12.
Right there is 100 feet deep. It's actually 3 lots.
Is there a house next to your lot on the left-hand side?
Yes. Right there.
So
Have you
that's
talked to them about it?
that's this.
Yes.
They're good?
I am.
Oh, they good?
Yeah, he owns it.
Yeah, it's actually closer than it looks like.
He owns them both. Yes.
Yeah, so, how do you owns that?
What do you think?
I think that, so it's below, so if he had a typical size lot,
Mhm.
it's below the level, so he wouldn't even be here in the first place. It looks like the house next door, Jerry pointed out, is close, like closer to,
But he owns it.
oh, you own the other side too?
Yeah.
Well, it also looks like that is closer to the lot line than the garage will be on your side, so, if that makes any sense. It looks like the house
It looks
next
like
door,
that's
which
what
sounds like
was
you
on
own too, it looks like it's even closer than the garage will be.
Yeah, it's 10 feet here. This
Yeah, there's only
Yeah.
a 10-foot
Yeah.
Yeah.
driveway there.
Yeah, I mean, his
Existing
They're
conditions
undersized
are-
lots, so they
Yeah, anywhere else in town with a regular sized lot, he'd be able to build that garage. It's the size and the shape of the lot.
I'm in a butter, and Mr. Bajosi's has done nothing but make his property towards the benefit of the town, and including his beach that he has on there, so I have no opposition to this. I think what he's doing is just making the neighborhood better, so I think it's a no-brainer.
Thank you.
Are there other, can you think of any, either of you guys, any other garages like that nearby? Probably.
There is a gambrel garage not attached
Okay.
that is one street over, and then there was one that was just built on 8th Ave.
So you're not gonna have water in that garage? No water and just electricity?
Yeah, electricity.
Personal use.
And storage on the top floor?
Yep.
Anybody have any
I think
comments?
Existing conditions,
Based on the fact that it's
typical
yours.
areas, so yeah.
Table. The table will fit. I've already dealt with that.
Yeah, no trees coming down.
I'm fine with that.
Anybody wanna make a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve petition of ZBA 25-2 as presented.
Second.
Peter?
Yes.
Yes.
Jerry?
Yes.
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 Myself, yes. It passes 5-0.
Awesome, thank you.
You're welcome.
It's all Dave's fault.
The secretary should be in touch.
Okay, he's gonna keep him busy.
Do you need to keep those?
Does,
Danielle had, yeah, she has them because I put them. I just couldn't figure out how to get them.
The next application is ZBA-25-4, 463 Plymouth Street. Tina, you want, we're putting you on the spot.
Oh, you do. The Halifax Zoning Board of Appeals will hold a public hearing on Monday, April 14th, 2025, 7 p.m. in the Board of Selectmen's meeting room at Halifax Town Hall, 499 Plymouth Street, Halifax, Mass. On the application submitted by Joseph Enos to construct a 24 by 32 detached garage said to be located at 463 Plymouth Street, Halifax, as shown on Assessor's Map 72, Lot 5, Book 48061, page 82. Property is zoned agricultural residential. The Board of Appeals will consider variances and/or special permits from the following sections of the bylaws. 167-11, Table of Dimensional and Density Regulations of the Town of Halifax requiring a variance for the front yard setback requirement.
Good evening, how you doing?
Good.
What do you want to do?
Basically same as the last guy wanted, but detached. 24 by 32 two-car garage. My driveway kind of inlets. I don't know, you guys probably drive by my house all the time. We're right across from the school.
Mhm.
And there's a horse trailer currently right there. I'd like to put the garage there because it just makes sense. If I put it at the end of the driveway, it's going to be on top of my leaching field, interrupting my septic, and it also would infringe upon the conservation land that I have in the back there. So the only real option I have is my current plan, which is 25 feet from the street.
Okay.
How far is the house from the street?
No, the basketball, the elementary gym.
How far are you already from the street? Right here.
I think 50.
Like I see the kids run over every day because I'm a
Where,
parent.
where are you placing the garage on that?
Yeah, I don't know, is that it?
I don't know if that's it. Yeah, that's the wrong one. Yeah.
Hold on.
I was looking at it, that's why I thought it was that one.
That's all I have.
No, it's I think it was a different application. If you go back to the application
Is
file.
it not 539?
That's it.
Oh, we're out of order.
463.
Okay, sorry.
It didn't look right.
No, right in there.
Oh, that's just, that's the garage itself. Sorry, I didn't have any printouts for you.
No, you're
That's
fine.
nice.
How come we don't see any three-story elevator shafts on it?
That's worrying.
What the heck? Give everything I have.
No, because we're not gonna be it.
Yeah, I know. There was no lot on that other one?
You look like
No,
it.
that's
Like,
okay.
I got the butters, the scan, and the stamp.
I can draw it out for you.
Yeah, there you go.
Just walk over there.
Can we see it out the window?
Yeah, not bad.
Is it a different file maybe?
Can you go to the assessors,
Can I do that on here?
I don't know. I mean, you could probably find it on,
Let me see if she dropped it in the wrong thing.
yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Did they maybe put it in the March file, because I think
Maybe.
I put it in before March.
I was thinking the
But it
same.
Oh,
was just,
maybe,
it was
yeah.
just like a day before.
It's the one right above, yeah.
Four sixty-three?
The one below, yeah. There we go.
Look at that.
I think that's the one.
That's
with
the
the-
same one.
If you go, I think you go back once.
Yeah.
Where?
Yeah.
The meeting
There,
date.
If you go 2025, maybe March, that one. Oh, no. What the heck?
Yeah.
I'd seen it before.
Try, yeah, no, the meeting date files. I think it's in the March in there. 3/6.
Yeah,
Second one down.
365, there.
Nope. Yeesh.
What if you just do a search up in the corner for, just the address for?
Yeah, that'll pop up. Like, yeah, that's true.
No, it's the same stuff.
Open that folder though.
It's the same.
Well,
Do you have the paperwork with you?
I don't.
Could it be in departments under building, because he might have applied under building? See that?
this is it. Oh, there he is.
PRC's just here.
Savior.
What's the address?
463.
Yeah, we've been to this place.
It's not in
It's
there.
not on there.
I was thinking it could be in building department, under their application, Caesar. Can you find that?
Is that it?
No, that's the board.
I mean, also because you where it is, but. This one, let's see, we've already done this one.
Should we base it off of lab music
And this is
permits and
just one page.
alcohol permits?
Yeah, I don't know.
She was saying go here. So that's empty, okay.
Yeah, that's the same drive.
What if you search that whole entire thing, that's what, maybe it does.
I might find it on my email.
There you go, yeah.
Danielle or Ed, if you guys are on there, do you guys know if the,
463.
463.
If the latest files for 463 have been uploaded to the R drive.
It should be here. I can't access my files at this second. So I'm trying to let them go through
It's like Alexa.
I got it right here.
Designation.
There we go.
Can I email it to you guys or something?
That's a Caesar question.
Yeah, do you want to email it to me? I'll write up.
Yeah, sure.
Look at this technology.
Look at us go.
This guy's the most underpaid guy in town.
I appreciate that.
Modern
Sorry,
technology.
taking that 5 minutes.
No, you're fine.
I'm in my dungeon.
He has candy.
Oh, actually, I'm more already ate it.
Oh, jeez.
Caesar, I just emailed you the file.
We're working on it.
I'm just gonna yes, I would like a brand new car.
They bringing it up.
If you can hear me, I would like an all expenses paid trip to somewhere in the Caribbean.
Would you guys like to hear my reasons?
What's that?
I'm probably the most ill-prepared person here.
No, clearly
You
we
need a
are.
written statement.
Well, I saw
You're way ahead of the
I
game.
feel like I showed up for a test that I didn't prepare for. I just wrote it up. There's bubble gum stuck in here. Okay. Yeah, the shape of my driveway only really permits 2 places for the garage, one being at the end, and that's where the conservation land is. If I moved it to the 50 feet, I'd have to like rip up my whole driveway and like make a new driveway to go to the garage. My wife, I hate to bring my wife into this, but she wants to breed our mare, our horse, so she wants a little baby horse and a little pasture there. I've already talked to my next door neighbor about it. He's totally cool with it. He's very excited about seeing a little baby horse galloping around over there. So if we had to move the garage, it would kind of screw up our plans for that pasture for the baby horse too. And most houses in town built prior to 1900.
Good.
You
Yeah.
could shake hands
Thank
out
you,
the
Ed.
window.
Thank you.
Basically, anyone around the lake, same thing. You know, I know this is a, but yeah,
That's where the garage is going?
yeah.
What are you gonna put in that garage?
Well, I got a workshop. I'm gonna put my truck in there. I can fix up the truck. Storage. I have nothing. Everything's been taken over by children and animals. My entire existence is in a basement in totes.
You're gonna have it heated?
Everything I have, me, is gonna be in this garage, and I've been planning it for 7 years.
You're gonna
Just
live there
wait.
too?
I might have to. After all the money going into it, I might as well.
And you can't push it back at all right here?
That kind of dips down the hill, and then yeah, I would have to move my driveway over, and like I was saying, that's where we planned for the pasture for the little baby horse. Which,
Is it gonna have a second story on it?
no, it's just one story.
How big is the lot? Is that
2
1.8?
acres, and then I got 10 behind that in the woods there. That's all conservation.
So how much does the land drop off?
Pretty
Pretty
significant.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
think about when you're over at the parent pickup side.
Yeah, because
Like the school,
Yeah.
that whole thing just drops.
Where is 463?
Like
It's
the
right,
gym
right
side.
across from.
The old Fitzgerald's house.
Fitzgerald's house, yes.
Fitzgerald's old house. Yeah, the right side drops off probably.
Yeah.
That's probably a 6 or 7 foot elevation from driveway to the lot line.
and the septic's off to the left, is that what you said?
The septic is actually right in here,
Yeah.
and then the leaching field's here. So yeah, if I put a garage here, the woods
You got
start,
plenty of room.
like right there.
So is there a party to like welcome people?
I would welcome anyone to.
Barn raising.
I hope I have enough room for a pool table. That's kind of the last
I like that.
last thing I would put
This
in
is
there.
the Kimberly.
Can't play pool anymore.
No, next door.
Yeah.
Right across the street from that elementary school. From the
Picture
gym.
it. I
Huh?
can't picture it.
To the-
Yeah, there's so many places.
They have a horse,
There used to be like
Oh,
a
so
wall.
I think it's rather than a- you gotta-
Yeah, it's gonna be tall with the alcohol.
Coming up to the school. It's
What's there now?
first
There's
up.
a trailer there on the right, right? Is that what you said?
What's up?
The horse trailer's right there on the
Yeah, I
right?
just got the horse trailer parked there, I just.
And then it dips way up.
It didn't, yeah, it goes way down.
Tips way off.
It dips way up. Did you see it? You probably looked at this house 500,000 times.
So there's not gonna be no running water, you're gonna have running water?
No, no water.
Just electricity?
Just electricity.
And storage?
In storage, yeah.
Anybody from the members of the board wanna comment?
So, I can't think of a house I've driven by it a million times, pulling out of school, I just can't picture
It's
it.
literally right across from
I
the
know.
gymnasium.
So,
Do I?
look out the window, there's two
I'm
houses.
3 doors
Yeah,
down,
yeah,
yo, 3 doors down.
That being said,
walk
I
here.
wouldn't mind on site.
Just in front of the apple tree.
Yeah, you're not taking down that tree, right?
No, the apple tree is staying. We want the apple tree to stay there. That brings the deers. The deers come in. We watch them out the window.
So,
Well, that-
sometimes looking at a plot, you're not quite seeing what you see. So
Right.
sometimes we like to go out and see the property, and then we
Right.
totally understand what you're talking about.
I would welcome you all
Many
to a
times.
picnic if you want to come by. Under the apple tree.
Careful.
Petting zoo?
Members of the board, would
That-
you like to
that's
do
all I'm
it
asking
on-site?
for. So, but it's up to the whole board.
We're
I know
on
what it looks
site.
like.
Students
Huh?
really.
I know what it looks like.
Well, he doesn't-
I'm fine with whatever. It's like, I'm not
You
opposed
wanna
to
do it
doing it.
on-site?
Yeah, it's fine.
Do you wanna skip
It
down there
drops.
right now?
Enough for hardship?
Yeah. I mean, it's,
You can almost see it from here.
Yeah.
you really, I mean, you could probably go do a lap and come back before we're done. It does, it drops off, yeah.
I've probably been here less time than all of you, and I know exactly where it is, so.
Like I said, I've seen
You've
it
definitely
a million
seen
times,
it.
it's
You
just
can't
not-
sit in the elementary school without.
I've got it
She
up
hasn't
too,
shown me
maybe.
pictures.
I'm on it. I can,
I figured
I can
that.
use this one.
We used to have an El
Well, you were
Camino
still
in the
seeing it, so
driveway.
I was like,
I know.
We sold it.
Now you remember.
Is there
but still.
anything else? Are there other houses right around there that have stuff in front of the house? I think there is, right?
There's a house.
Well, the next house
Down
down
There's
is
this
something
way,
over here, there's
yeah.
something in front,
There's a
right?
house up here that has a garage. It's basically like on the sidewalk almost.
Yeah, like there's, almost like this on the, they have
Yeah.
like a drive
corner,
up type
right,
of thing too, right?
Right.
Yeah, something similar, right?
Yeah, and the next house
I know.
down
Still-
isn't, the next house down isn't as far back as his either. The next house down from him,
Kim Roy's
Yeah.
house.
yeah, that's
Oh,
not as far,
Oh, the one to the my left.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Nikki-
further, that's
Nikki.
closer to the road, yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So it's not like we're,
You guys wanna do it on-site?
oh, I parked there for an hour
went-
every day.
I definitely know what it looks like. If somebody wants to go, I'll support them.
Anybody wants to waive the on-site?
I'll motion to waive the onsite. It's just burned
I
into
feel like
the
I'm throwing
memory.
Bob under the bus, but I'll second that.
Alright, all in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
You?
No.
Yes.
Good.
It pa- no,
Oh,
yeah,
no, then we
we're not gonna go see
waive
the
the
property.
onsite
No
visit.
picnics.
Oh, okay.
There's no
Oh,
apple picnics.
Oh, I was gonna make some sandwiches.
There's no apple picnic.
Anyone who wants to make a motion to accept?
I think there are, for me, I will say, I think there are other similar garages that are detached that are in front of homes. I think of a couple over by, on my side of town that have the garage that is detached and close to the road. And I think that the topography of the land, even though there's a lot of land there, I think there's a topography of the land that leads to not a ton of places for that to go.
It's like the only flat spot I have.
Right.
Other than my very front.
And that's,
yard.
so all that conversation about hardship, the topography of the land is actually a hardship.
Wow.
Yeah. So, so I'll make a motion to, if we want, you want one?
Go ahead.
I'll make a motion to approve petition ZBA 25-4 as presented.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Yes. Mr. Memory Lapse is skipping.
Yes?
Yes.
Jerry? You?
I do apologize, you're gonna get it anyways, but without seeing it. So, I'm a no, but
Oh.
Okay.
Myself, yes. It passes.
I'll put a big neon sign.
You're not getting invited to the apple picnic.
I'm 100% stop
Next on the agenda is ZBA 25-3, 539 Plymouth Street, applicant for a special permit or variance.
All right, so this one actually.
Who's here to speak for this?
So the woman that owns it's actually my sister. She's heavily pregnant at the moment and is not feeling well, so she asked if I would step in today. So if I have any information that's not available, I'm sure she can get it for us. 539 Plymouth Street, right down here. This is the map we were just showing it, right there. The field to the left of it, between the house and the post office. Just looking to do a small nursery type area, mostly trees. Not really keeping it, we're gonna keep it up from the wetlands in the back. We do have a buffer back there and all that. I don't know if they gave you a copy of these.
This is what I got.
Oh, that's it?
No.
Alright, I got a drawing, I mean, it's. So it's just for the field next door, which, it is zone 4 commercial. Just looking to use it.
Have you been to the planning board yet?
The planning board, not yet.
Well, you have to go to the planning, you have to go to the planning board
You want us
first.
to go there first?
You have to get us, they'll tell you what you need to get, site plan and all,
Okay,
drainage and all that stuff. You have to present that to the planning board.
okay,
Then you come back to us and whatever, if you need conservation or whatever. then-
yeah, we're gonna be way off it, but,
No, I'm just telling you what
Okay.
you might encounter, you know?
so planning, conservation, then come back to you guys.
Yes.
Okay,
Before we issue you, I mean, we can't issue you a permit to operate without having all the major parts done first.
yep.
You're
alright,
gonna
so
need your
the-
entrances, you're gonna need all that stuff before you,
Okay,
and they will tell you what to do.
alright, so I'll start with the planning board then.
Yep.
I'll
So-
see you in a few months.
Well, so we're gonna have to motion to extend this.
Can I say, I come here this morning and I talked to the ladies downstairs. The guy did the plan with the entrance and everything, and we're not putting a parking lot, it's gonna be stone,
We can't, you have to go through the planning board first.
But when I know, but when I talked to the building inspector, he told me, he directed me to here.
They said to come here for us
I come here 5
first.
times already on the town, and I talked to the building inspector.
That's not the way it works.
I know, but
Yeah.
this is what he told me, you know?
Do you wanna keep that?
No, you can have
No,
that.
that's
But you gotta have a set of plans
Yep,
to go through to the planning board.
okay,
And when you go through the planning board, they'll tell you what you need and all that stuff.
okay.
And you come in front of the zoning board for a special permit to operate a nursery.
Gotcha.
Right?
Or like the last component, like
The last one, I started
once you
wrong.
get
No.
everything in place and how you're gonna do it and what you're gonna have, everybody else says, okay, it's great, it's
Once
designed
you-
great, it
once
looks
you-
nice, then you come to us and we say, well, it's not supposed to be here, but,
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, the details about what it's gonna look like in the hours of operation and all
Yeah.
that stuff.
That's
Once
on
it's
the other,
approved,
okay,
Yeah.
then we know what to
We
approve.
did send the details, but I don't know why they're not here.
yeah.
Oh,
We had sent some
Yeah,
other
that's been
approved by the
drawings,
planning
small
board?
stuff, but-
No, we never went to the planning board, because
Okay.
when I talked to the building inspector, he
You
said.
you gotta have a site plan, you gotta have all that stuff
Okay.
to go in to the planning board. I mean, if you go tomorrow or go downstairs, ask what you need from the planning board, and they will give you all that information, you put that together, then you come back to us.
Okay,
I think.
sounds good.
Tina,
yeah.
if he can't get the special permit to run the nursery, there's no point in sending him to the planning board until they find out whether or not you'll allow the use there.
So, do you want us to do like a conditional approval based on the use only?
Well, I mean, if he doesn't get site plan approval, he won't be allowed to operate there anyway.
Yeah, just what the building inspector told me.
Yeah.
That is the
You
building.
gotta get the site
Yes,
plan.
yeah, that's the time here. No, I mean, yeah,
So,
yeah.
so I do need you guys then, I guess, just to say if we get the plan so we can go through them?
What's that?
I'm lost now.
We are too.
The voice is spoken, but I'm not sure what it is.
They're great and
He's
powerful
just
arms.
looking to see if we'll
Yeah.
approve the use, not so much
'Cause it's
the
commercial
building
now.
or whatever else. But we allow a nursery at that
Yeah.
location.
Yep. We're a couple miles down the road.
Now, there's no parking, you said?
It's gonna be
There will
stone
be.
gravel.
Yeah, I got it on
The
here.
drainage, because it'll be in the gravel. Only be a couple spots like Nazarella down the street.
You want
Won't be cement, won't be anything on our property.
So it's a conditional approval more so than anything.
What's that?
It's
It's like a
commercial.
conditional approval based on use.
Because we still looking for a variance to go from 50 feet to 25.
So what's the hardship?
So we don't know that right now.
Yeah.
But I mean, if we do approve the
That's
use,
That's the garage.
it's the garage?
Yeah, it's, I think it's the next page.
There's no variance, right?
No, it's just a special permit for the
There's
nursery and
no
then the
building.
Sorry,
sales.
the wrong,
Won't be built in
No,
there.
no, yeah, you're good.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's a different
Okay,
Plymouth Street.
correct.
You know, 3 acre, 4 acres, I think.
it's about 100,000 square feet is the area that it's kind of encompassed.
So,
So you're constructing a sales room?
Not a sales room, it might just be a small shed just for
300 square feet.
paperwork and stuff, yeah. It's
Where
like
would
a
the
shed.
shed- where would the shed go?
Up close, well, depending on what we're told.
Yep.
We would prefer up closer to the road so you can stick a little flag in it, but, you know, that's up to you guys ultimately. I mean,
But if we have to be in the back, we will.
yeah, it doesn't matter. Our preference would be by the
So
road.
accessory building can't be in front of the main.
How do we vote on something that we don't know anything about?
well, that's my question.
Yeah.
I don't, so,
Ed?
it might be a shed, might be,
Yeah.
I don't think it's your fault or your fault. If the use, like approving a plant nursery or a sales room, I've never just looked at a plot plan and said, sure, put a nursery in a sales room somewhere. Like, we've always looked at how big it is and how many parking spots there will be and how many, and
We don't
how
know
much
any of
traffic
that.
there will be and when it will be open and what's already been approved. So like, without that stuff, and maybe they have that.
We did,
A site
I did
plan.
send it over. It's like,
Okay.
you see, that's what it's playing.
So that's what we got before,
I'm
was
gonna
come,
plant, I'm
get
gonna
the
plant
approval.
some
Well, no,
plants
he's
here.
not, generally, we have a
It's gonna
site
be the
plan,
area,
that lays
it's
everything
gonna be
out,
the
it's a plot
plants.
plan, shows
Oh, okay.
exactly where it is.
I have to, I don't know.
I understand what Ed's saying.
It might be.
Sorry,
So I go into that, we're not gonna approve it, but it's,
Yeah, I have the plan already.
That's where I gotta go.
Basically, like,
no, but like next to Dunkin' Donuts, they went through
I'm
all
sorry,
that
it's not
work.
big enough, but.
No, it might be. Is there
Yeah,
another,
I think it
So
should
it's
be
like-
there.
is there another document in there? You
No.
said, like,
Yeah,
There's
this
not.
morning was, is when I talked to Chelsea downstairs, she looked up everything. I don't know, sorry.
Oh, Jesus,
This
hold
is
on.
going way back.
Oh,
Hold
yeah,
on, hold
like,
on,
if we
hold
have to
on.
move,
So
I'll.
this shed is 50 feet
Oh,
up.
yeah, I paid the guy to do it, all the plan, but if I have to move, anything I will move. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I'll
I don't know
do
what
whatever I
else
have
to-
to do to get past.
Here, this is helpful.
Oh, yeah, we have a plan. I don't know why it's not downloaded, I'm sorry.
It's not your fault.
No, you know, I did my part this morning.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
talked to
you- and
Chelsea,
you brought
I talked to both of them downstairs.
Maybe, I bet you it's somewhere. It's
Yeah,
not their
it
fault
is.
either.
Is that? Oh,
There we go.
Here we go.
Bing bong.
Thank you.
So it looks like when you look on that sheet of paper, the shed that they're talking about is down at the bottom there, and it's 50 feet off the road.
It's set back a little bit behind the actual side of the house.
can you have one piece of land with two separate uses on it, or does it need
Yeah,
to be
so
subdivided?
over on Carver Street, they do, that's the commercial piece is one side and the house is on the other, remember that? They
Yeah.
got- Yeah.
The commercial
Line came
between-
right through it, so
Okay.
yes.
Alright,
And that was subdivided already, that to be a commercial.
okay.
The plan should be there too.
This is it. This is really it, I swear.
No, but it has another plan.
The,
I can show you.
the property plan, that's
Yeah, the property.
on the previous.
I had this, the
Yeah, the
as-built.
picture. Those are,
All right, the one we have shows that it's commercial and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, that's the one we had, right?
yeah.
That was the commercial line right there.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, it was on there.
They're looking to sell
This one?
mulch and
No, the other one, I think.
plants.
Mostly like trees and stuff.
Yeah, that
I'm
one.
gonna
Small
plant,
trees.
That dotted line where the nursery stops is, I think, the
Oh, this one?
commercial zone.
I think it's the same line as Carver Street.
Maybe it is. It
Oh,
probably
really,
is,
all the
yeah.
way through?
Yeah, like it
It
just goes
actually
straight
probably
through
is
that park.
exactly that, yeah.
I'll find over here.
Yeah, let's just drive down the
But it
street
must
a
be,
little
I
bit
mean, if
further.
that shed is 50 feet off the, must be, goes way there.
It's a deep parcel, yeah.
Yeah. How big is the lot, you know?
Total lot there, 4.8 acres.
Doesn't it have, the town owns right next to it too on this side, right?
Yeah, I believe that goes out to your water tower, your standpipe, I
Yeah.
believe.
It's like some park. We were discussing it at rec.
Oh, I didn't know it actually had a name, but.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
that's,
see,
yeah.
yeah, that's the plan, I
Yeah.
work with the
Yep.
engineer,
Yep.
and I mean, my
Yeah, this is
design guy.
220 feet, this line right here.
Yep,
And then I believe this one is 100.
What is the frontage?
This way,
Yeah.
I believe this way it is 80,
I have it,
you got it on there?
I think so.
So they're looking to farm in Halifax?
Yes,
It's a right to farm.
right to farm.
So what are we looking at on there? So the little stuff over
So-
on the, can you just walk me through what we're looking at?
Yeah. So there's already, we didn't want to disturb any of the curbing or anything, there's actually already an entrance cut, I don't know,
Okay.
years before what was already there, but there is a cutout in the curbing, it drops down both sides, got a flat driveway area, so instead of making more work, we could reuse that. I gotta stop touching this board, my lungs.
You're fine. Should be right here.
Coming in, like I said, just the small little shed there, just to hold the paperwork, order slips, stuff like that for the customers and stuff. Then just nursery stock and display over here. Like I said, trees mostly,
And I'm gonna plant in the back as well.
and we're gonna do some plantings in the back,
Yep.
in the back towards the, I don't want to touch it, but the
touch
conservation.
it?
Oh, see, can't do it. Oh, there we go. The conservation in the back and stuff, so we figured, keep anything that
We have,
would alter it in any way away from it, so that's why that stuff's all up here. Just a little bit of storage for some other stuff too, to go out the door with the plants and everything. There is a natural buffer of just scrub brush that encompasses the post office as well as runs down the property line on this side as well.
we keeping that.
Yeah, with the Google Earth over there.
I wish you could do
we're
it
gonna-
on this.
Yeah, we project it right on there.
So your frontage is 88 feet.
I'd have to double check the exact number, but for this piece right here from where the house side of it is to the corner lot by the bench where the post office is, I believe it's either 88 feet or it's, the 120 is ringing in my head for some reason too, but I think that was the other one. Actually, no, let's put my phone down, I got it right there.
Get another auto parts store, be better off there.
Yeah, we're gonna open an O'Reilly's next.
Can you also grow some pot, please?
Yeah, we're gonna ship it right out the post office. Right?
Perfect.
It's actually 100 feet.
What's in the base back there behind the parking spots? What's the plan for
This
that?
right here?
Yeah.
Just compost, a little bit of extra crushed stone, some loam and a little bit of mulch.
And you talked about a buffer
Is there
between the
one
post
lot or-
office?
Yeah, there's scrub brush that runs, right, so here's the post
One.
office, you got scrub brush that runs here. I mean, the brush actually closes in the whole place, and in the spring and summertime, I mean, you can't, it's pretty well covered up.
If we need to put more trees, we can put more trees.
Yeah, if we gotta plant trees, to make
Yeah.
it more appealing or something for the post office or the neighbors way back here in their back 40, that's something we can do also.
Is this where your chickens were running into the post office?
Yeah, you have goats there,
The
too.
goats get out all the
You have
time,
goats
so if you see them, they learn how to go to the dog house and then jump over the fence out, and then they find a pallet on the side that we had for some nesting box stuff, and they jump from there to get back in. But yeah,
Can you put in a request for some dwarf goats, because those things are awesome.
I'm gonna
there's
put
two
some
over
there.
there, you want them?
No, I'm buying them.
You gonna take them?
I'm gonna put them in the nursery.
You got dwarf
Yeah,
goats?
so stay there in the
Those
nursery.
things are
So the kids can come and play on the weekend. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Those things are cute as a button.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we got a couple goats over there.
goes
Some
on
larger,
to the
some
next
smaller.
map, though.
Doesn't this separate the house from the,
It's just.
Yep, right here.
Yeah, right there, just like
It's
car
commercial
construction.
on one side and residential on the other.
Are you doing fencing at all? Is
Like I
that-
said, I mean, in the house, we're okay with it.
Yeah.
The post office, like I said, if they want a trees, for a more natural looking buffer, that's fine. If it has to be fenced or something, that's fine.
What about like around like the nursery and all that stuff, so people aren't getting in there? I don't know.
I mean, I'm sure.
I don't know if you
probably
thinking about that or
throw
not, I'm just asking you.
I don't like to think of Halifax as a higher crime area where they're gonna be cutting trees out of the ground, but I mean, cameras probably obviously for, a couple trail cameras or
I'm just
something.
asking.
No, I appreciate it.
I don't think we need, because he has down the street, you don't fence your place.
what's that?
You don't fence your place, it's open.
Yeah,
Keep
you
it
probably
open.
don't have an issue, right? Nobody comes in.
I have big trees anyways, I'm gonna do like a big stuff,
Okay.
Like pears, apple trees.
Any members of the audience have any questions or?
I'm representing the property. to the
Right here.
left, yeah.
Mhm.
I think- Where's the equipment going to be?
We're not gonna be
No,
storing,
no storage equipment,
no
maybe
storing
two trucks,
equipment or
three trucks,
anything.
that's it, just for delivery.
and they'd be in the bay with
Yeah.
whatever was running low,
And no fencing?
unless you would,
And are you using herbicides or any kind of poison?
No.
no, nothing non-natural, liquid kelps, stuff like that, I mean, nothing. I have a Massachusetts pesticide license, I mean, I'm pretty decent with the laws and stuff for that, but we don't plan on using that type of stuff, we do prefer the natural, stuff. It's easier when you sell a product like that to somebody and they can continue the natural route without having to worry about, any sort of chemical contamination or whatnot, or anything like that.
There's no public facilities, no toilets, no nothing?
Nope, it'll just be like I said, just the shed up in the front, just for the paperwork, box paperwork and stuff.
And this is separate from your property? Or part
It's
of-
all one property, it's just this half, I don't know what, maybe you guys knew what it was way back in the day, or.
Is this-
It looks like it was a pasture at one point, wasn't it?
There was
Yeah.
an outbuilding back here,
Yeah.
maybe an old barn or something. So maybe just the pasture then, so just farmland.
And it's been 2 lots, or is it being subdivided now?
No, I'm not looking to subdivide it at all. We want to keep it as it
There's 2
is.
uses on this lot.
Yeah,
2 uses.
The use restriction goes from there, essentially all the way across Carver Street.
No, I don't either. I've always thought it was 2 lots. We bought 2 lots?
Just
or
one.
One.
just as one.
There's 2 numbers on this assessors map,
Is it?
Yeah.
but it's not subdivided.
Yep,
I don't know.
probably because one's commercial. I don't know.
Oh, is that for, we put an auto parts store there, to have an address or something?
They didn't-
Is that why it gets assigned an address ahead of time?
You have to have an address for a business.
Yeah, not sure.
It's your sister can subdivide it,
Yeah.
she did it.
You have a question?
Yeah, I'm just curious, if it's not being subdivided, then are the owners renting this property
We're
to
gonna
you
be,
people? Who's actually gonna be running it?
we're gonna be all partnered in on it. Just kind of, that's initially what the property was bought for. Like I said, I do a lot of work over there. When the property was purchased, that was the
But are
dream.
you a current owner of this property?
I'm here for my sister who, like I said,
No,
could not
okay,
be.
that's what I'm saying. I don't recognize anybody here
No,
as
no
the
worries.
current property owners. That's, I live across the street. Well, our business is across the street.
The gutters?
So, no, the Halifax glass.
Oh, the gutters.
Right, so that's why I'm just questioning,
Yep.
who's actually gonna be running a business on that property?
Yeah.
Me and him.
Okay. Even though he's not the property owner?
No, because.
She's gonna be in it too. Like I said, she was gonna come tonight, she's supposed to be on.
Right.
I don't know if you've seen her rolling out lately.
Yeah, I've seen
She's,
her, I know her. Okay,
She's carrying a little heavy.
so she will be running the business with you people?
Yep.
Okay.
Is this a
plan that's been approved by the planning board?
No.
No, it hasn't been approved by anybody yet.
They're asking for the use variance.
So it
They have to go through, they have to do site plan
may
review.
not look like this at all.
No.
Correct.
What can happen?
Well, they gotta put drainage in, they gotta do all that stuff.
Even if we're not doing driveway asphalt?
The
Do you
cutout
have
right here.
drain- Yeah,
Jeez, my eyes.
Is that a retreat?
I wanna say
What's that?
It's
No,
not a-
28, I
it's
think.
right at the street. It's right next to the post office parking lot.
yep.
All this and the house are on the same lot. It's just
Yeah, the post
commercial
office
zone.
right here, they got that little bench out front of the post office right there.
38 feet 11.
3811.
If we're not doing the paver, the asphalt paver, do you still have to put a drain in? Because we're doing stone, we gotta do it.
That's up to the planning board,
Okay,
not,
We're
not
hoping to keep it natural.
If we
so-
have to put it, we have to put it, but I don't wanna put paver, the asphalt there.
You're gonna have to go through engineering and stormwater management.
Okay,
Okay.
that's fine.
all we're here to vote on whether we accept it as a business or not, right?
Right.
Yeah, and I'd like to see more, as an abutter, I'd like to see more. Because access and egress is hard enough off of Plymouth Street now. Now we're
Well-
adding another cut in, we've got the
How does
post office.
how does the board
my
feel?
yard.
We're not becoming
They
the
make us do
curb.
that though.
What's that?
Planning board, I believe, right?
We're not becoming the
Planning
curb to
board,
get in and out.
No, but I'm just saying, you're
Yeah.
adding one other
We-
level of
Yeah, we'd be about.
traffic there, and I don't know where the planning board would, what they would want there.
I think they have to look at the access coming in and out.
Yep,
There is at least one accident at that post office once a month.
Oh, yeah.
it's because right now, the trees
I
we have
know.
on the property, it's covered.
Yeah,
Where we'll be coming in and out will be across the street from your parking space, you have the same thing. We'd be about 60 feet, 55 feet from the crosswalk. There's a crosswalk.
yes.
And you have two entrances, one on one side of the crosswalk, one on the other side. I'm not
Yes.
gonna have on the other side, so it won't be dangerous. We gotta have just on this side.
But you're gonna have a truck pulling out, and you're gonna have somebody trying to come in or out of the post office. And that's my only
Okay, but
concern.
we gotta have enough, like, if we do the loop, it's about 60. If I do nice open, it'll
Well-
be about,
38 feet, I mean, should be enough for 2 lanes
yep,
coming in and out. I
we
mean,
got a 60.
in half is 19 feet a lane.
It's not the width, it's the visibility.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's straight shot when you're looking up. When you take those, when I take those trees they have there now, it's gonna be straight shot looking up and looking out.
Yeah, it's just a dead stump. I mean,
Yeah, oh, I
it's
know, I know.
probably 12 feet
Oh,
high.
I know, we've been there for over 45 years,
Yeah.
I know,
Yeah.
trust me. I look out it every day out my window. But the amount of people I've had to pull out of vehicles with accidents is my concern.
Yep, I got you.
Having
Yeah.
trucks coming in and out,
Yep.
having the amount of accidents that we have now, I don't wanna see that in town increased.
Sure.
That's
That's a
my
fair thing.
main reason why I'm here tonight.
Sure.
I don't have any,
Yeah, I understand.
I'd love to see a nursery over there, I don't have any objection to any of that. I'm more concerned about the trucks coming and going,
We appreciate it. We do
You
whatever
know,
we have
that's-
to do,
you know.
right to not have no accident.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
I got a
I
public
think
safety
that's right.
background, so I mean,
Yeah,
I'm gonna make sure that
it's the safety of the visibility, and like I said, I'm concerned with the trucks.
Yeah, I think, all of that, I think, is the planning board's.
It's the
Yeah.
purview of the planning board.
Yeah, and I think for us, I mean, the concerns I guess I have with the use, are, what's the setback? I mean, it looks tight, but it's, I know it's not, so that's 50
That
feet off
50,
the front.
yeah.
Yeah.
What's the setback off the side?
Right here.
Yeah, like to the parking
It's about the
spots
same.
and, do you
What's
know?
your, it's, like, oh, you're asking how much?
Yeah, like
this
what's the
line and that
setback
line?
off of there, like,
If I had to guess, I'd say
it looks maybe 10?
11.4,
Is that, yeah, I mean, so, that's tight.
11.9.
And the people driving into the post office, what they're gonna see is like whatever stuff is in that bay, right? Which is.
Like I said, though, it's all scrub brushed all
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
And
10
then spring.
feet, 8 months a year, you can see, right? right into those days. But that, I mean, I don't think that's a massive concern because that stuff is out there. And
But I
you
can move
see
the
stuff.
base to the back of the tree. if you
Yeah,
see.
Yeah, we'll switch all that around planning board wise.
Yeah.
We just trying to see if we
Yeah,
can do
and,
these.
and so that's a little bit of my concern. I don't think that's even preventing use. The second is whatever, like the pesticide stuff, but it sounds like you answered that.
Yeah,
So-
it's not looking to do any sort of, reducing pesticides, just the liquid kelp stuff, that type of stuff.
Yeah, and I know,
Easy.
I don't even know already what you're talking about, so.
Wow.
So, yeah, and so I guess for me, there's similar stuff in town, it's a commercial zone, it's a busy road, it doesn't seem like to me, it's something that the use would be unreasonable. I think there's certainly questions to answer
Planning wise,
about
100% sure.
frontage, about access, about number of parking spaces, which might be fine, I don't really know. And setbacks and stuff like that, but that's stuff that you'll get to, I think, if you move past it. That's where I sit, or anybody else.
Where does any screening that come here and?
What's that again?
Visibility
Is this a
stuff?
site plan that you would approve or you would
No,
approve
just
use.
only the use?
Just the use, yeah. We'd
The
have to come
use,
back.
we're only,
Any-
we're only
any kind-
approving the use.
Any kind of fencing and the rest would not come to you.
No.
From the road behind you.
We're just doing the use.
That's the girl that asked questions. She knows
That,
answers.
that would fall under the planning board, what they recommend for them to do, and the parking, whatever they need to do for that.
Like I said, too, we're willing to work with all of it, so.
I like the idea of more farming in town.
I think it's pretty tight on a small piece of land.
We always can get more.
Huh?
If I like, I can get more.
Yeah, we do.
Or, I mean,
I've got it.
What's the pleasure of the board?
Make a motion to approve the use only.
What's that?
That's what I'll make a motion to approve the use only.
I'll
Any-
second.
Like as presented, is that what you're saying? Like as,
They want to need, we're approving
yeah,
the
they're
use
looking
of the thing.
for
The
the
use
plant
only.
nursery and the sales room, like what they applied for.
Yes.
Right. We have a second? No.
Oh,
Wait.
yeah, he seconded. it.
Yep,
Oh, we're voting, yes.
Yes.
myself, yes.
Yes.
awesome.
Now you have to go through the planning board.
Now I gotta go to that first step.
Yeah.
The
Good
board's
luck.
still there? Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
All right, thank you. You wanna keep that, or?
We have it on here, so it's okay.
I'm glad you said something about that. Without that, I wouldn't have been able to know what the heck we're looking at, so.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Nice
You're
to meet you
welcome.
all. Thank you.
The next ZBA -25-5, 284 Mont Ponce, application for a special permit and or variance to operate a body art establishment in a commercial business district. Who's here for that? Step up.
People in the back.
Sit there this whole time.
I don't know why they told me to come at 7. I ate a raw hamburger, and I could've let it go.
Trying to get guys on that guy here, I didn't get anything up there.
Tell us what you want to do.
Okay, so we would like to get a special permit to open a tattoo shop in a commercial zone versus the industrial zone that we're currently restricted to. We've been operating a tattoo shop in Bridgewater for 14, 15 years, something like that. The shop has been there since 2001, but we took over. So it's not like a risky thing. We've been doing what we've been doing for a really long time. We have an excellent reputation. We're good at what we do. And I hate bragging about that, so just let me know if you need any more details on that.
Where's 284? Where is 284 located?
That's my positive,
Yeah.
second floor.
Oh,
Right across from
second.
the dentist.
I also have, some pictures that
Upstairs
I
inside?
included.
Upstairs inside?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
This is, our shop right now. I just want you guys to see that we don't, I don't know, there's a lot of,
Misconstrued.
exactly, what you picture in tattoo
The
shop
rent's a
being
little
and
high.
what we.
The rent's
We get tattooed free?
What do you mean the rent's on?
I love tattoos, so like,
Okay.
let's go. What do we
Here's,
got?
here's some examples of some work. We do kind of high-end tattoos, more like artwork rather than
What's your shop in Bridgewater?
Broad Street Tattoo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Pussy, she's pussy.
You gonna get one?
Huh?
Gonna get one?
So Tina,
And he
Yeah.
is.
they're actually appealing my decision, because they want to open a tattoo parlor over on Monpont Street. Technically, they're not allowed there,
Right.
totally or at all. So they need to appeal my decision to either, which would in essence be giving them a use variance,
Yep.
which aren't allowed in town. Or their other option is, which they're currently pursuing as well, to try to get the zoning bylaw rewritten to allow tattoo parlors by special permit only
Okay,
in the commercial district.
okay. Well, that's fine. It's usually you're taking up the full screen. You don't have to
I
make it
know.
smaller.
What was that? I'm getting a lot of feedback, sorry.
I said, thank you.
No, no. There, okay.
There we go.
So Ed, you're saying it's only allowed in industrial?
Yeah. It's like,
Correct, we only allow tattoo parlor in the industrial zone. They're looking at a commercial zone. When the provision was written in 2001, they didn't even allow it by special permit. It was strictly industrial only, everywhere else is a no. So you would have to allow them to appeal my decision to put one there. Or their only other avenue is, I believe they're going in front of the planning board this week to try to get a zoning amendment to this to the zoning ordinance, which would then go in front of town meeting to be changed to allow body art establishments by special permit and or by right, depending on how they wrote their article.
Yeah.
yeah, like it's specific, it says no, special permit, no, in any zone. Like sometimes it's like yes, special permit, no. It's like no, special permit. There's no yeses anywhere, to his point.
And it wasn't updated.
This was written in 2001, it's never amended since, so
Yeah.
it probably came in when tattoos became legal and
Exactly.
nobody's ever asked, so it never got changed.
I don't think we can even give a special.
So has it been done in a commercial district? Anywhere
I'm
around?
sorry, what
Oh,
was that?
yeah, every,
Oh, every
all
town
of them.
has them in commercial.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're all in.
It's the only town that's not.
We're behind.
It's because the laws were.
Does it even-
I don't see anything like that at all.
I mean, they're on Main Street in Bridgewater, Route 18,
Right.
Yeah.
right in the center of town.
Right next to the
And
bakery.
right
now, we would be basically across the street from the marijuana dispensaries.
Right.
We thought that.
One-stop shop.
I don't, I want more business in town, they seem great, but I don't know if we can, I don't think we have any basis to overturn it. I think the answer is like they said, is to try and change the bylaw.
Yeah.
Which I don't think anybody would really have an issue with necessarily, I don't think.
So you have to wait for town meeting to change the bylaw.
Well,
Which is a month.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know.
I
I
think
think
we get a warrant.
Oh, no, we're in. We
Oh,
we
yeah.
we
Yeah.
covered
Okay.
our
All
bases,
right.
yeah, to make sure we're
Either
on
that or we
that.
overturn his
It's-
decision.
Overturn
Based
it.
on what?
Huh?
Based on what though?
I don't know.
When somebody fights it, then they're,
Yeah.
We hope for this
I
option.
mean, if you were to overturn it, as long as nobody complains about it, life goes on. If anyone were to bring it to court, it would never hold up and that would be the issue.
Another lawsuit for the town.
yeah.
We don't want another lawsuit.
So can we continue this till after the town meeting and then?
Well,
if
would
it-
they have, my question is, as the owner of the property, do they have to come back here if the town changes the zoning? They don't have to come see you.
Or less it's changed
It would all
to
depend on what
special
the town
permit.
changed the zoning to.
Exactly,
If they
yeah.
change it to by special permit, then they could come back, continue this and move on to that. Or if they allow it by right through town meeting, then they could cancel this, call it out, and start renovating their shop.
The current request is for by right. If you guys recommend special permit, maybe we can change it. I'm not even sure how much we can amend that before town meeting.
So
Is it
your
gonna be
warrant
put
right
on-
now is by right?
Yeah,
Is that what
the
you're going
request is for
for?
by right.
In the commercial.
This may be useful to poll the board and ask if it was a special permit, how they may be thinking, so that when you do present this at the town meeting, you know, you can kind of say, the boards all look favorably upon us and hope the town does as well.
Yeah, if it was by special.
So does
permit,
anybody at the
or-
board have a problem with the tattoo parlor going into the plaza? There's no question.
No, I mean, I
There's
don't,
vacant spots up there, they need to be filled.
exactly, yeah.
That have
But
been vacant
I
for a
don't
very
think
long
we have,
time.
No,
like,
they
yeah.
just moved up.
Oh, did they?
There was a church up there.
Oh, I'm thinking further
Church to
No,
tattoo.
down. Saints to sinners.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
Continue it after the meeting,
I
see
think
what
we're gonna
happens
get
after
ready
the
to-
town meeting.
I'm gonna make a motion to continue until after the town meeting to see, but you can definitely.
I don't think we have any basis to overturn.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, I don't
Well, we
put the
don't have
town,
any opposition. But
I don't wanna knowingly put the town in a bad.
Seems like everybody
Yeah,
should-
I know.
And I don't think anybody's gonna challenge it.
Yeah,
But I
let's
just
go
never
for
thought
it.
that
What do you
before.
think?
No,
I think if it's
Right.
something
That's
we
the
can actually
problem.
vote on, that'd be
Yeah.
fun.
I think that they're asking to see if any of you guys, if there wasn't any indication of a special, like if you could give a special permit, am I right, Ed? That, like, they want, it would help them if you said whether
I
or not
think we'd
you'd
all
be
be in
for
favor.
it.
Yeah, we'd all be.
You'd be in favor of a special permit if that's the way the town
Yeah.
voted.
Yes.
Instead of in just and right.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
In fact, I think they'll probably do better at town meeting.
Nobody wants to,
Special permit, where people will be, think it's ridiculous that they can't do it.
we don't want a lawsuit again.
Yeah,
Right.
well,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
no, I was just
Yeah.
meaning like,
Almost a
if
town
it
meeting
was
too.
okay,
Yeah.
would you be okay with it?
Oh, yeah.
Would you be willing to continue it
I guess
It's
we
up to
got
you
it.
guys.
Yeah.
until the town meeting, and then we can
Right.
come back and vote on it?
So we need to give them a 60-day.
So my question is,
Town
when town
meetings.
meeting votes on it to just as a right, then they
Then
don't
you're
have to
done.
come to
No.
get the
Right.
zoning board,
Right.
I mean, they just go to the town and get
Yeah.
a business permit.
Yeah.
Correct, okay.
'Cause then it just holds them up longer and longer as more that goes
Well,
on.
you got, when is town meeting? May,
3 weeks.
Yeah, we had,
It's like
Less
3
than a
weeks.
month.
yeah, it's only 3 weeks.
yeah, our next meeting is May 5th, so we'd have to wait till after.
Yeah, that's why I said we'd do
Yeah,
a
so
60-day
when is the town
continuation.
meeting?
That's
Town
it.
meeting's May
That's it.
12th. And then we would meet again
It's on my
on.
birthday.
That's kind of.
That's not
I'm
a, it's
big
not
I'll be in
a-
Florida, the problem.
All right.
So I'll make a
Would
motion to
you-
continue this for 60 days so that you can go in front of town meeting and maybe not even need us.
Yeah, what's the, don't they want a date? What's the date of that?
Any second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
Yes.
So
Well-
I think you'd get to the June 9th meeting if you had to come back before us.
Yeah.
And I'd be surprised if you're back here.
Okay, yeah.
It should
Yeah,
pass.
the town seems pretty supportive. When we went out for signatures, it took all of 3 minutes. It was pretty easy.
Yeah, no, this town's good about some things.
Yeah.
Hopefully in the lottery, it'll be up front because it's gonna be a long meeting, I think.
I know, I
Yeah, I
heard
know.
there's a lot, yeah, so that's fine. Be patient.
Bring water.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Okay.
Thanks, Ed.
Nice to see you.
Yeah, sorry to put you through those long ones.
Hey, you waited all this time for that, sorry.
I'm gonna go home, finish cooking my burger.
There you go.
Thank you.
I get some bills.
Who's got the bill?
Taking them right there.
Oh, you got it?
Yep.
Sign them and get them over.
Yep.
So do you have the acceptance or denial on the permits, on the forms?
I don't know.
Penny.
Yeah.
Nothing in that folder.
Not the building inspector quit.
Yeah, a bunch of them did. A bunch of them did. He's been around for a while now.
Where's he going?
No, he did.
He's got building commissioner, right?
What do you need, Blake?
I heard he left.
Acceptance,
Yeah, I know.
denials.
What if he gave us money?
Oh,
Because
jeez.
we accepted.
That I don't.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Do I even need to sign? All right, so,
Petition ZBA 25-2. That's 3 Ninth Ave.
so now we're just putting what we accepted and stuff on a piece of paper, so that you have it, since we don't really have anything to sign.
There should be, I think, a binder that has decision forms in it.
Do you have any, anybody have that binder?
No, that's this is meeting minutes. And this
No,
here
it's
is
the white binder.
Oh, what binder?
board comments.
There you go.
No, there's nothing in there. It's just
We don't get up
comments and
Decision.
some of the.
Oh.
We found him.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So can I just fill these out, Danielle?
You don't even have to fill them out, I can do it tomorrow, if you just wanna sign them, that's fine. Or whatever, and just write, the address of whatever one it's for, if you don't mind.
I'll put that in there.
This is a long one.
Past the 14 minutes, a long time ago. This is for the,
Okay, this is a while.
Do we have to approve this?
Hmm?
Have to make a motion to approve them?
yes.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve the bills that are presented here.
Any second?
What are they?
Second.
All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Meeting minutes for February 10th. Everybody have a chance to look them over?
I guess they were corrected by the admin. February, what happened in March? What happened in March?
They're on there too.
Oh.
I'll make a motion to approve the February 10th, 2025 minutes.
Second?
As presented.
All in favor?
Yes.
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 We have the meeting minutes for March 10th.
There we go. Anybody want to make a motion?
Is that, we're not live. Sorry.
March 10th.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes as presented.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Yes.
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 Do I have to do continued?
No, that's just, accepted it or not, approved it or not.
So that should help with it, right? Oh, this is the extension, right?
There you go.
Dude, I have so much paperwork to present. Can I be in the middle, please?
What?
I spent too much paperwork being at the end. Please be in the middle. I get to read, I get to work the computer.
Decision binder.
Here you go. Gina.
What?
Anything else anybody wants to discuss?
I'm doing these extensions. We have to sign these too, the extensions.
yeah.
So I'll pass those down.
Yeah.
Just don't leave yet.
Is that garden center going back in beside Dunkin' Donuts?
Yes. It's, they're doing a landscape company that,
Oh, the one from before that?
yeah,
Oh,
they're coming back in and putting it up.
oh. I was wondering what the heck happened.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he had it for sale for a while,
Yeah.
and he decided he might as well put the building up.
Good.
So they got the structure before they even did the,
No concrete, no.
no, nothing.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I
They-
saw the land
Before they even did the land,
Unless they ordered the building and it finally came in.
yeah. He's got his hand locked, he has to do it.
So is he still gonna do the business? Do you know, the business side of that?
He's gonna operate landscaping, but, yeah.
The same thing as before?
Yeah. I don't understand, why did we have to approve for them to run a business when they haven't even gone in front of the planning board? Isn't that kind of ridiculous?
Yeah, well, and especially when like, before we had seen all, like what their plans were. What?
Yeah.
But they were, so, I guess I get it, but shouldn't the details be ironed out and then, whatever, it's.
Well, they're gonna,
That was our motion.
well, they have to do what's her name there, Amy, stormwater management.
Well, I didn't know.
Where's that
That's
going?
There's a lot of active participants today.
Yeah.
Yeah, we managed a great meeting today. A lot of wild children out there, a lot of feelings, and everybody was coming up to pleasant and giggled in the end, which is cool. I walked in, I was like, what is this? We haven't had a full room in months. What's happening here?
I thought there was only a couple of garages.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Isn't it, with Tina and I walked in the same night, I'm like, oh my God, we're gonna go to the back door. We got lawyers and suits up at the front.
Oh my God.
I know. Like, oh geez.
Anybody make a motion to adjourn?
Sure.
Hey.
You finished yet?
I don't know.
Yeah, you're clicking around, you're searching files, you're doing great.
This is way more work than I was expecting.
That's the seat of honor.
That's what I said,
Right?
let's switch.
I'm very comfortable over here.
Oh, great. You don't have to be doing cheaters on the
Yeah,
road.
yeah.
Oh, Alright,
So we need a motion to adjourn?
yeah.
We get a second? All in favor?
All right.
Yeah, 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 yeah.